Okay.
So good evening, everybody. I would like to welcome all the teachers, students, and people from the Dharma Gate Buddhist College. Today, we gather here to, in a way, celebrate the International Day of Yoga. But this is just the run-up to the main event, which is on the 21st of June, when we do the live yoga from our Facebook page, where lots of yoga experts are going to join. Together with Ankita Sood, I would like to welcome Ankita also from the Embassy of India. She is the yoga expert from the Embassy of India. I would like to welcome Mr. Zoltan Cser, who is going to speak today, and also Melinda, Irtl. We will have a kind of a discourse and discussion how yoga is intricately, connected with Buddhism, and what are the tenets that Buddhism also preaches, which connects us to our inner self. In the same way, yoga also propounds. So we would like to begin our today's session. As you know, that the theme that this year the Ayush Ministry has, established is yoga from home, and that is suitable for today's challenging times where we cannot meet face to face and have any kind of discussion, or we cannot do live yoga or any kind of practice related with yoga. And that's why this theme has been propounded by them, and that is the reason why we are doing this event online. So welcome all of you to this discussion. I would request now Melinda to start today's program. You can unmute yourself and start the program.
So namaste for everyone. And first of all, we would like to thank this opportunity. It's a great pleasure to us to present the Buddhist and the yogic way of thinking and make some comparison and have this get together. And this is again a celebration, we can say, so we can celebrate the International Day of Yoga throughout this event as well. And we made a PowerPoint, so it's better to follow for the Hungarian participant. And before the actual lecture and conversation, we would like to have the traditional way of starting. So let us have a prayer together, the Shanti mantras. So I will lead it. Sit comfortably and join. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So from my side, this was the initial start, and I request Zoltan to do the Buddhist way of starting.
Anje chedan chokni choknam lai chanchu badu dagni japsu chi dagi jinsok jipe sonam chi drola penchir sanje drupa resho.
So, thank you so much. And before we start this presentation, let me start with the main point, why we start with this. Because there is a wish, first of all, and there is the refuge in the triple jam in Buddhism, meaning that we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And this is quite a parallel motives. When we have the Shraddha, when we have the faith and devotion, then also throughout the yoga practice, any Hindu type of yoga practice, we also do the three Shanti mantra, or we do the 3 Om chanting. and this represents the dedication towards the guru, towards the subject of yoga, and towards the practitioner himself or herself. So we can say it is the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So very similar, and you can feel this this kind of oneness with the directions. So let us start. So I try to share the screen, and since the time is very short, so I may just jump much more faster than it was planned. So some about the background. Can you see? I asked people if can.
Yes.
Okay. So a little bit of the background. So Yoga Darshan, how come Yoga Darshan and Buddhism together? So there are 6 main darshan, 6 systems, and we say this 6 philosophical system is so-called Astika. And if we divide it into 2 groups, so and we make this 2 so-called opposite group, one is Astika and one is Nastika, regarding the Atma and Anatma thesis. So yoga is considered to part of the Astika group, and Buddhism is the Nastika. So it's a kind of negotiation about the self, but these are just concepts, and if you go in depth into the subject of both systems, you will have the insight about the real meaning of these words. So what's important, just let me see. Yes, so these I will just jump because I made this for a different reason. Okay, so one important to know, according to some Hindu schools and scholars, they consider Shakyamuni Buddha as one of the avatar of Vishnu. So he is not out of their daily practice, and he is not some completely unknown person. And the core of Buddhist philosophy shows the direct connection with the Vedic tradition. Even I wrote the main teachings of Buddha, so those people who are listening now and who are participating in today in this conversation, they are mainly students of the Buddhist Dharma Gate Buddhist College, and these teachings are the basic needs to them to study during the 3 years, the Madhyama Pratipada, means the middle way, and the Four Noble Truths, the Chatvari Arya Satyani, and the Trivisha or Akushala Mula. These are very important connection with the Yoga Darshan. You will see, because even the terms, the Sanskrit terms, will come back again and again in the Patanjali Yoga system. And the Arya Ashtangika Marga also quite a favorite topic for those scholars who are dealing with in-depth with the philosophy regarding the ethics and ethical like shilas and ethical consideration, as in the Noble Eightfold Path. Also Buddha himself pointed out how important is the shila, how important is the right speech, for example, or the livelihood, or the right action. As in Patanjali Yoga system, also we will see these important points. And one of my favorite topic is the Anitya, Dukkha, and Anatma. And so the Dukkha is one core subject in Patanjali. And he says about the 2nd chapter, I guess, so dukkha is the main reason for all. Dukkha is, we can say, the suffering. That's the simple way to explain. So dukkha is suffering. And what is the real aim of Buddhism? What is the real aim of yoga? I think this is something that we have to really think on when we step into these noble paths. So when someone start to practice yoga, they might have some physical problem, they might have some mental problem, or maybe they have only just fear or some negative emotions or destructive way of thinking. And anyhow, these are all kinds of sufferings, and it makes our life difficult and sorrowful. So what is the real aim of yoga and Buddhism? To get rid of the suffering, or get out from the samsara. So every kind of practice, including asana, pranayama, mudras, bandhas, kriyas, or whatever the yoga could offer us, it is all for the same reason: to stop dukkha and get the freedom from inside, and just cut this pattern and habits and habitual things, and the cessation of mind is the main things. So let me just see what else. Okay, these are more about. Okay, Buddhism and the classical part. Yeah, Buddhism. I consider Buddhism as a classical yoga part, and mainly we can say it's more about jnana yoga. And we can also find in the practice many other yoga paths as well. So the Shraddha is also a main concept of Buddhism. Without faith and devotion in the teachings, or more, even more, I will come back from the starting point. Without invocation, without the refuge in the triple gem, we are not able to get access to the teachings. So when we say the three refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, that means we have already established the Shraddha within ourselves. And Shraddha, nothing but the bhakti in the Hindu tradition. So we can say many parallel motifs. And also the Karma Yoga is very much exists in the practice of the monastic life. And in every Buddhist monastery, you will see, in case of COVID-19, let me say some new and fresh facts. So everywhere in Tibet, in Nepal, in India, we saw how much effort the monks put to help and support people. And they shared whatever they had. They went and give food for needy people. And even I saw one beautiful video. So from old robes, they had given old robes, and they just made a handmade sewed face mask, for example. So such a beautiful example how they are serving the society, even though they are monks and might be out of 24 hours, might be they are reciting 8 hours only the sutras or suttas, but besides they are considering suffering as a real thing in this world. As in a Buddhist philosophy, there is Karma Satya and Samvriti Satya. And in the field of Samvriti Satya, in this realm, this basic realm, they considered, yes, people are suffering. So they are the first to go and help people and serve the society. So we can say how much relationship it shows with the basic, the four yoga part, for example. And just I see only I have 3 or 5 minutes more, so I have to decide what to talk about it. Yes, and as I mentioned, the ethical part in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra system, like yamas and niyamas, you will see the beautiful connection again, as the ahimsa is the very first, as Gandhi say, ahimsa is the core teaching for our life, and even the Buddhism says that, as it starts with ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence, or without aggression, without violence. So we put lots of effort in our daily life as a Buddhist practitioner to live accordingly. And not only that, but the Satya as the second Shila, out of the Pancha Shila in Buddhism. We say in the Yama in Patanjala Yoga Sutra. So you will see even the words, even the expressions, even the Sanskrit terms are the same. Not similar, but they are literally the same, like Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya. Some little difference are there. Brahmachari is also the similar. Only the fifth Shila is different from the Yamas, as the fifth Shila is when we say we try to keep away ourselves from the drugs, from alcohol and other things, what creates more this distraction in our mind. So basically our aim is to keep our mind clear and pure. And the Brahma Viharas is another great example. Ho Shakyamuni Buddha was grown up in the Vedic tradition, and he also used the main and important teachings throughout his life. So Brahma Viharas, the four Brahma Viharas are also the same as in the yoga system, same in the Buddha, Lord Buddha's system. So this is called Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, and Upeksha. And you might be all familiar with these words. So when we feel the love and compassion and joy, and we are trying to get that level of our mind when we are feeling the equalness. And I think I already ran out from my time. And however, the klesha is also one important thing, as how we can remove this avidya, this kind of wrong knowledge about wrong perception. Of course, we need abhyasa. We need abhyasa and vairagya. And these terms used by Patanjali, but we can see throughout the real practice when we do meditation or when we do reciting suttas and do also pujas in Vajrayana system, for example. Yes, it is also very much the daily practice, and it's needed to be constant also. So I think I conclude here, because there are many philosophical parallel motives within these two systems. And one very interesting point, what my colleagues will we talk about, how Buddhism dealing with even the term of yoga and give different colors to it and use differently this knowledge according to different traditions like Mahayana or like Theravada system or like Vajrayana system. So I stop this, no, I won't stop the sharing because he will use it only for a second. I will just put it and I give the turn to Zoltan. Thank you.
So thank you very much. First of all, I would like to welcome the representatives of Indian Embassy, and also I would like to welcome the students of Dharma Gate Buddhist College. So as you see before, as you see in the slide, I would like to ask Melinda if you can share.
Yes, I will put, just I wanted to show your face first.
This is the page number 9, but then I can start. So the meaning of yoga is very, very interesting. First of all, in the Pali text, there is a Pali canon, there is a Yoga Sutta, and it's a little bit surprising because it's a rather short sutta. And in the Yoga Sutta is written that there are 4 kinds of yoga, and this in this sense, the meaning of the yoga is hindrance or obstacles. So here there are 4 kinds of obstacles, so 4 kinds of yokes we have to overcome during the practice of meditation. This is also very similar of the 4 kind of levels of system we can see also in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and also we can see in Giranda Samhita and Hatha Yoga Pradipika also. And the first one is the kama, so the sensual pleasure. The second one is bhava. It means the attachment to bhava. The third one is ditthi. So the wrong ditthi means it's in Pali, so drishti, so the wrong view. And then the fourth one is avidya or avidya. So this is the four obstacles. Sometimes we can say the four hindrances. There are different terms in Buddhism. So what is interesting that in the realm of the monks, the name yog has the meaning of hindrance. But we will see also in the yog, this system of monks, we can find movement practices, but it's not called yog. So this is a Hinayana or Theravada level. So this is belongs to the Southern Buddhism. The Northern Buddhism, in Mahayana, we can find the term Yogacara, which is a philosophical school, but actually the meaning is those practitioners who are making or who are doing the practice of yoga. And here the yoga means to conquer, to yoke, but to yoke the mind. So not when the mind is conquered by defilements, but when the practitioner through meditation is conquering the mind. So the Yogacara has the system where the practitioners are mainly doing meditation. So here the term is changing. Here the meaning of the term is meditation. And then of course this Yogacara system is so interesting because there are very parallel sentences, even the same sentences in Yogacara scriptures and in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So now in a digital world, we can see that very, very similar sentences we can find in two systems. So then we go to the Tantras. In the Tantras, so in the Vajrayana, the yoga is, the meaning is union with our enlightened nature. In the Tantras, we can find the so-called deity yoga. So these are called in Tibetan the Yidam or Ishtadevata yogas. When we are discovering and when we are uniting through the special methods, we are uniting with our divine nature, with our enlightened nature. So here, the meaning of yoga is union. So that is why we can find yoga tantras and anuttara yoga tantras, so different levels of union tantras in a Buddhist system. It's also similar to Hindu tantras. If you see also mantras, sometimes mandala system, the mudra, and so the visualization system is very similar. And then in the Dzogchen teachings, which is called the Mahasanti or in Santi Maha in Odia language, the yoga has another meaning. It's called enlightened state. So the ultimate state. So very interesting how the levels of yoga is changing through the course of how we go from the Theravada teaching or Hinayana to Mahayana to Vajrayana and then the Dzogchen, where it's called the natural state. So it's called in Tibetan Naljor. So the translation of yoga is in Tibetan Nal. Nal means natural state. Jor means possessing the natural state. So we can go to the next slide. And let's see so all over there are some quotations, and one of the very famous quotation is saying that if the body is straight, then the channels are straight. If the channels are straight, the prana is straight. If the prana is straight, then the mind is straight. So that is somehow the core sentence for yoga practice. So actually, when we practice yoga, there are two levels. Two purposes. One is to eliminate the different problems, defilements in retreats. That is why in our yoga text, and also similar to, I think, in Indian systems, there are two ways how explaining the different yoga practices. One is how is eliminating the obstacles of body, so sickness, prana, so the energy, and mind, so the obstacles of meditation, and then how develop the natural prana, so the central prana, how to develop enlightenment. So here you can see without movement, there is no proper body position. As we can see the 8 limbs of Yoga Sutras. Without position, there is no proper breathing. So pranayama, without the proper breathing or pranayama, there is no proper state of mind or proper meditation. So the real practice in Buddhism is always, we say, the harmony of the 3 gates. So one option is moving the body, moving the prana, and moving the mind. And one option is not moving the body, not moving the prana, so not moving the breathing and not moving the mind. One is, so these are all combined in the Buddhist yoga systems. So aim of meditation, as Melinda also mentioned, is eradicating the causes of suffering. And then the aim of yoga, as I said, to remove the obstacles of meditation, sickness in the body, prana, energy, speech, and mental disturbances in the mind. So let's see the different yoga system connected to different Buddhist yanas. Yana means vehicle, and vehicle has the literal meaning of vehicle in Buddhism is the kind of instrument which is bringing you from the beginning till the end. So that's why it's called yana. So Hinayana, and there are 18 schools of Hinayana. One of the 18 schools is Theravada system now. This is the only survived system. So here we can find two kinds of yoga. One is the Thai yoga and the one is the Burmese yoga. The Thai yoga is not so easily accessible, but as you see, there are 4 lineages of Thai yoga: Thai Khmer, Thai Lao, Thai Malay, and even Thai Burmese yoga. And it's called Ruesi Daton. And this is the stretching practices of the rishi. So the Ruesi is the rishi and Daton is the stretching exercises or practices. And this system is very much connected to the Thai massage system. So in ancient time, the Thai massage was not accessible just those people who were practicing very well the Thai yoga, because in the Thai yoga, they learn the different energy channels called Shen. So according to the legend, the first adept of the Thai yoga system was Jivaka himself, Jivaka Kumarabacha, and he was a doctor of the Buddha, and he was a rishi, and he was teaching very similar way the 84 asanas. And what is interesting that in a Thai system of yoga, you do a lot of movements and then just for 3 beats of like counting the breath. So inhalation, we are going to the asana, holding, we are in the asana, and the purpose is kumbhaka. And then exhalation, we are going out from the asana. And this is very much connected to the Thai healing system and also the Thai massage system, as I mentioned before. So this is the basic information about the Thai yoga system. And what was the characteristic of these yogas, that they were solely given just in retreats. That is why they were connected to the medical sciences and also the indication how to develop meditations through these practices. Next slide, please. So then we go very fast way to the north to Mahayana system. In Mahayana system, interesting because the yoga practices were connected to loving kindness. So inhalation, we were inhaling the suffering of all beings. We had to visualize during the movement and the asanas, and exhalation, we had to exhale and our loving kindness, our prosperity to all beings. So this is called Tonglen, and it's very interesting because His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he was practicing one of these Mahayana yoga systems. And then here also, we can find that all the asanas are connected, one of the key terms of Buddhist teaching, like the skandhas, elements, defilements, and so on. In the Zen system, one of the main feature or one of the main characteristic, like key factor for getting enlightened is the proper body position. So it's called the Vajrayana body position, or 7 points of Vajrayana body position. And the aim of yoga is to get into the position of the Buddha. Because if you are in the position of the Buddha, then you have also the mind of the Buddha. So usually it was a 12 years of course of yoga. And this is called Makoho yoga. So we can find in some Zen lineages in Japan and also in China, this kind of which also went to a little bit to Qigong practices, and they were called the Taoyin yoga systems. And there were even almost 1,000 of different yoga systems connected to Buddhist meditation. So the aim was to have the proper position where we can enter the meditation practice. So next slide, please. So in Vajrayana, in every tantra has a yoga system, but it's called mostly Yantra. So what is interesting that in the 10th century, text of movement practices, they are separating very much the two kinds of movement practices. One, which is called Lujong. One is connected to just the body. So it's like gymnastic. And another one, which is called now, we call it yoga, but it's actually, in that time, it was called Yantra, is those movement practices which is connected to energy. And in Vajrayana, we can find the so-called yantras, and its Tibetan name or translation of yantra is Trilkor. Trilkor or yantra has in Buddhism the meaning of magical wheel. So magical, something mechanism of magical, when the prana is moving the whole system of like a machine. So in Vajrayana, in Buddhism, we directly practice enlightenment, and the purpose of yoga is to help to purify the pranas, and then to enter the pranas, the center channel. Because when the center channel is open, then we are in the center. We are in our real nature. We are in our wisdom state. So the Tantra calls the path of transformation, as we see also in Patanjali. So the yoga system, the aim is to transform poisons into nectar. Like there is a Vata, Pitta, Kapha, like poisons, and we transform into the states of nectar, and also the heat, and also the prana. So in tantric practices, there are the generation state of yoga, when we are dealing with rituals, mantra, mudra, mandala, visualization. And then when we are really clearly see our body as the body of energy, so not the physical body. So when we clearly see our energy channels, then we start yoga. Then we start the movement practices, then we start pranayama. So that is why in all the tantras, Kala Chakra Tantra, usually they have 108 practices. It's like a mala, so they are connected. So it's as you see on the picture or the slide below on the right side, there is like a sequence of practices. So they were not, you cannot change them, but you can just sequentially go through these positions. They are movement practices, holding practices, and mainly the base is to go to Kumbhaka. And so all the Tibetan, it's mainly remained in Tibet, these kind of tantras all have yoga systems. One time I was trying to find that how many yoga texts there are. I find more than 50 different systems. They start from 5 practices, and then it go 21 practices, and then there are 36 practices, and then 84 practices, and then 108 practices. So these are Vajrayogini, Kalachakrahi, Vajrachakra Samara, Mantaka Tantras. They have also very famous yoga practices. And then at the end, we come to the, so the next slide, please. What I practice is, it's called Yantra Yoga. So this is one of the most ancient yoga system in Tibet. It comes from the 8th century, from Humkara Mahasiddha, who was living in the 8th century. And now it's around some places in Nepal. And it's called Trilkor Nidakajar. And what is interesting here, the Trilkor, as we know, this is Yantra. So this was the ancient name of yoga. And Nida, Nima means sun, and Dava means moon. So the Trilkor Nidakajar is actually, the translation is the union of sun and moon. So the same way as Hatha. So that is why it is sometimes it's called the Buddhist Hatha Yoga. And actually here we are using also 75 asana practices as well, but the same way as in Thai yoga system. But here everything is for 4. So we inhale for 4, we go to the asana, we holding for 4 first, and then exhale for 4. And there is a preliminary part and the concluding part. And then later, when we can hold more the breathing, that we can lengthen the asana. So as I said, this is kind of a mala, which we are counting 108 movements. If somebody wants to do the whole system, it takes around 6 hours. So it's almost impossible. And then the main aim of this system is to develop tumo, so the inner heat, the heat, pleasure of heat, because this is the base for meditation. And of course, eliminate the obstacles of the 3 gates. So this was the first Tibetan yoga system taught in the West. It was taught by Chögyal Norbu Rinpoche, and it was a great risky thing. So he was a pioneer, because in Tibetan system, the movement practices are very secret. So if somebody goes to the 3-year retreat, this is the only possibility to learn these systems. And Rinpoche was the first one who recognized that in the West it's very, very necessary for meditation to use the breathing, use our body, so movement practices. And then later some scholars, also Rinpoches from Tibet, followed his steps. And then nowadays there are more movement yoga systems are available. So basically there are 5 pranayama, 5 groups of holding, and 5 groups of yantra in this system. So this, even though this is a 108 movement, but actually it's very much based on 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So that's concluding my very short presentation about the Buddhist yogas. And thank you very much for your attention.
Okay. So I would like to add something, or I would like to request Ankita if she wants to add first.
I think Ankita would like to conclude this whole session, so you can continue,
Okay.
Melinda. Yes.
Okay, then. So finally, we come to the topics of aspiration and also the merit dedication. This is a very important point, again, in both systems. And so as a conclusion, we can say both system is working on how to remove obstacles, how to get rid of the kleshas, and what I already mentioned, by constant practice and non-attachment. So the terms is abhyasa and vairagya. Vairagya means with no raga, with no desire, with no attachments. So we are trying to cut these imprints. And in the sense of the triple fold gate, like body, speech, and mind. So we are working in each 3 level. And also when we are doing any kind of practice, even if it is Buddhist or if it is Hindu way of yoga, we cannot say we are only working with the stula sharira. So any practice, what we are doing, even if it is only only physical practice, so-called physical practice, it's not so. Even physical practice is working with the subtle energy, with the pranic body, and the sukshma sharira, and also with the karana sharira. So even we are purifying our karmas throughout the practice, and we try to really cut all this chain of rebirth. And livelihood and the way of life should based on and supported by these ethical and moral points, what I already mentioned. And in Buddhism it is 5, and for monks might be it's quite a lot, more than 215 rules and regulations. And obviously for just for regular people, lay people, it's something what is really difficult to follow. But as much as we practice, we will understand each and every rules is something what support our life and the way of thinking. And actually these rules are make our life easier, not more difficult. This is my own experience. And the Brahma Vihara is again a question, because people think it's easy to do and establish our life in this 4 pillar. But year by year, when we go deeper in to the practice, we will understand it's not something like, okay, I love everyone and I'm very kind for all. No, it should come from within, from such an insight. We are not different from each other. And this is not an idealistic approach, but I say, as yoga means, one of the meaning of yoga is union. What does mean union? I raise the question. We can see in the Buddhist terminology something what is not non-dual. When unity will happen, means there is no this and that. There is no sun and moon, even we can say, because there will be a joining within these 2 forces, and there is no two forces at all. There is no negative and positive or white and black. So union will take place means we go beyond the dualistic way of experiencing the reality, and it will be the real ultimate reality within our experience, what we say. Okay, so spread of knowledge, understanding, happiness, and loving kindness and peace. So these are the aim what we can have for this life, for real this life, what we have right now. And it's also, I would like to finish with prayer. So that's why I asked Ankita if she would like to conclude something. First, she can say some word. And the merit dedication is a very relevant practice for us. And we should do, I mean, there is no yoga. There is no yoga without Shraddha. That is one thing. And there is no yoga without the process of purification. And there is no yoga without dedication of the merit. If we don't, if we forget about these points, let me just see this last one, the dedication, then it will become a kind of egoistic progress. Even in the physical level, even in the mental level, we will develop such a beautiful body and flexible, and maybe we will be very smiley, and people think, oh, we are such a good this and that. But if it is not coming with the feeling of sharing with others, then it will be only build up more and more the ego sense, the I-ness or the ahankara. So that's why we also put effort to have this dedication and saying that let all being, all sentient being, let them be happy, and also about the peace, let them be in peace, and so let them to experience the complete freedom. So this kind of dedication, what we are doing all the time. And so I give the turn to Ankita to...
Thank you so much, Melinda. Could you stop the screen sharing, Melinda?
Yeah, sure. I do.
Thank you, Ankita. You can now start.
Yeah. So first of all, a big thank you to Ms. Melinda and Mr. Zoltan for throwing the light on the topic of Buddhism and connecting it really well with yoga, because this is something, me myself being a yoga practitioner, it was really nice to understand how you related it with yoga. Now, when we connect this topic with the current situation of COVID-19, how just one virus has brought us into these boxes, Right now, we are just sitting at home and we are having virtual conversations. And during this lockdown time, when we were having the online sessions of yoga meditation, one of the major problems which everyone was facing, it was related to the mind. And when we talk about Buddhism, definitely meditation plays a very vital role in Buddhism as well. Just to connect with something which, because I'm coming from India, and if I would like to share something about my experiences of Buddhism and meditation and India. So when we talk about Buddhism, definitely we talk about Vipassana. We talk about Annapan Sati. My experience when I was in India, I was in this beautiful place. It was one of the most beautiful pagodas in Maharashtra. It is called as Igatpuri. The place is called as Igatpuri. And when I had gone there for my 10 days Vipassana course, how those 10 days changed the complete mindset. You all are also associated with Buddhism. Definitely, you all must be practicing this meditation technique of Annapan Sati and Vipassana, and how slowly and gradually we go from the subtle levels to the gross levels, and then from the gross, how the whole concept and the whole mindset changes. During this lockdown time, when many of the students were having this problem of anxiety and depression, and they were just sharing that, why only negative thoughts are just bombarding. So when the simple technique of Annapan, where you are only supposed to be connected with the present, and the best way to be connected with the present is your own breath. Very simply, when one of the major persons who started Vipassana centers, Mr. S.N. Goenka, in his speeches, when he mentions that just one instrument plays that role, and that is your breath. And if you have the power to not to control, I will not use that word because it is again in a negative connotation, that when you have the power of just observing your breath, how that simple thing changes the entire mind waves and the vrittis coming to your chitta. So I thought that we have actually, we were listening to such beautiful explanation about yoga and Buddhism. So why don't we just experience the meditation itself, and let's just do a few minutes of Annapan, if you allow me.
We can do anything.
Yeah.
It's all students are expert in this, as we have the Satipatthana, Vipassana, meditation as a compulsory courses here. So we are familiar, so anything.
Yes, so Ankita, you can do it. You can start.
Right. So let us start, and please be seated with your back straight. Keep yourself absolutely relaxed. And very gently, just close your eyes. Allow your body to be completely relaxed. In case you're wearing glasses, you may remove them. And slowly and gently get your entire attention on your breath. Observing the way you're breathing in and the way you're breathing out through your nostrils. If you're breathing through the right nostril, observe your right nostril. If you're breathing through the left nostril, observe how the breath is entering through the left nostril. And if you're breathing through both the nostrils, observe your breath entering through both the nostrils. Complete awareness about your breath and nothing else. Be vigilant like a gatekeeper, like a watchman. Not even a single breath should enter your system unnoticed. If some thoughts are coming to your mind, let them come. Let them go. Let them come. Let them go. Our job is very simple. Being aware of the present breath, nothing else. Complete awareness of the triangle, right nostril, left nostril, bottom part. Just being aware of your breath, nothing else. And now slowly and gently getting back into the present atmosphere where you're sitting, and slowly just join your hands in Namaste Mudra. And with a beautiful smile, gently open up your eyes. So, Namaste. Here we end a very small little session of Annapan. It was all about eliminating the negativities, the problems, sufferings, and slowly elevating yourself to the beautiful dimensions of this life. This situation has really taught us that it is very, very important for each one of us to take care of our health, mental, physical, spiritual. It is very important. Only if we are healthy, we will be able to spread that health. Only if we are happy, we will be able to spread happiness and celebrate life. Thank you so much. And it was a very, very fruitful session. Thank you. Over to the director.
So thank you. And let us chant the dedication and the Shanti mantra. So first the Hindu version, Sarve Bhavantu together, and then I will give the turn to Zoltan with the Tibetan. So have the Namaskar mudra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasche Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Ivari Kevo Kun Sunam Yeshe Chok Shing Sunam Yeshe Jung Vei Tampai Kunyi Tokpar Shu.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all of you, to be here with us today, to celebrate this beautiful moment with us, and to explain the relationship between Buddhism, the various divisions of stages of Buddhism, and yoga. As you mentioned, that yoga means in totality union, and also to remove the obstacles, so it comes to the same thing actually. Thank you so much, Zoltan, and thank you so much, Melinda, for joining us, and Ankita, to help us meditate today and end our session with beautiful Shanti mantra from Sanskrit and Buddhist texts. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I hope we will continue this association and do some more interesting sessions in future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice celebration of International Day of Yoga.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and before I leave, I would like to tell all of you who ever joined us that please join us on our Facebook live streaming the whole day from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Where right from Ankita Sood to all yoga experts from Hungary and Bosnia and Herzegovina, they would be doing the common yoga protocol, where Melinda is also joining us. And we will be celebrating the 6th International Day of Yoga online for the entire world to see. So all of you are welcome. I would request all of you to join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone. Have a very beautiful evening. Namaste. Thank you, Mr. Zoltan. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you to the entire board and the students who have joined. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.